Liz, I've learned how to communicate better with people that I love, with people that surround me, listen to my own intuition. And one day I came to her and I said, I have a problem. I don't know how to approach my daughter with this and this and this. And then she said, well, let's have a talk. And we had a good conversation, trying to navigate what I need to do better moving forward. And then at the end of this conversation, I said, oh my God, what an eye-opening conversation. We should have a session about this. We should have women come and listen to this and share the wealth. From that, this idea was born, and I actually think it's a phenomenal way to reach out to our daughters and also through them learn and teach ourselves how to strengthen this special bond. With that, I'm going to introduce Liz Miriam, who's going to guide us through this wonderful connection.
Thank you for that beautiful opening. Wow. Thank you, Susanna. I appreciate you. So I'm really honored to be here with everyone tonight. The mothers, daughters, generations all coming together in one room to create a bigger bond, a better bond, right? I want to thank Susanna for creating this. I want to thank Bailey for being here and helping with this. I want to thank my daughter that has been with me over the past, I think, every week since the beginning of the year. I've been giving different talks, and she's coming with me. Even though she's busier than I am, she's coming along. So I appreciate you, Jamie. Thank you, my videographer. And this talk is in honor of my own mom. Thank you for joining us tonight, Mom. Okay, so before we begin, I want to say something very clearly. This talk is not a parenting lecture, okay? It's not about who did things right and who did things wrong. And it's definitely not about placing blame on anyone. Tonight is about finding meaning, okay? When something has meaning, it stops feeling random, okay? When it stops feeling random, it stops becoming personal, right? You stop feeling personally attacked when you're able to give a meaning to something that's happening around you. You stop feeling pain towards it. Kabbalah teaches us a radical but comforting concept. It says, before your soul comes into this world, you choose your parents. Isn't that cool? It's pretty cool, right? Not because it's going to be easy, but because it's going to be meaningful. And parents too, we choose the souls of our children. Not because we expect them to be perfect and to behave perfectly, but because those children will awaken growth, awareness, refinement within us. It goes hand in hand, okay? Tonight is a conversation of why we found each other, and how this understanding can soften our relationship and take away some of the difficult times, okay? So everyone, please take a minute and think about a very special, meaningful moment that you've had with your mother or with your daughter. Just take a minute and think of that special moment. Okay? Now I'm going to ask something unusual from everyone. Mothers, if you're willing, I'm going to ask you guys to all shift a little, right? I want the daughters to sit on the right side of the room, and the moms to sit on the left side of the room. Can we do that? So we're going to come together a little bit later.
You're staying here, we're going there.
musical chairs a little. So this isn't about separation, ladies, right? It's about letting each voice be heard. The right side, that's chesed, represents the girls. Chesed means loving kindness, means openness, means pure desire to receive love. That's chesed, that's right hand. Left hand, let me go on a little bit with the left hand, okay? The daughters come into this world with open hearts, with a longing to be seen, a longing to be held emotionally, with a longing to be loved exactly as they are. So I'm inviting all of you daughters to sit on this right side, the side of softness, the side of receptivity, and the side of love, okay? The left side represents Gevurah, strength, boundaries, structure, protection. Mothers carry sacred strength. They hold families together. They make hard decisions. They protect, they guide, they contain. So I'm inviting the mothers to sit on the left side, the side of strength, guardianship, and steady presence. Neither side is better. Neither side is more spiritual. Both sides are necessary and both sides are holy. The goal is not for anyone to change who they are. The goal is simply to notice, simply to have awareness, okay? Sometimes a daughter is longing for more right side energy, more warmth, more softness, more reassurance. And sometimes the mother is offering more left side energy, structure, guidance, protection, right? That's our go-tos as mothers. Either way, it is love. But even if it doesn't feel that way at that moment, it's important to understand that that's where it's coming from, always from a place of love. So tonight it's about learning how to recognize each other's language. This is a safe room. We're not here to be blamed. We're not here to be judged. We're here because we simply care about each other. And when we care, that's the beginning of healing. So mothers, I want to start with you guys. If there's times that you're feeling overwhelmed, you're not failing. That's actually a sign. If you weren't failing, you wouldn't care. The fact that you care is simple enough to know that you're definitely not failing, okay? In Kabbalah, there's a concept called tikkun. This is a soul's rectification. Every soul comes into this world with specific work to do, specific inner work. This is not abstract. This is not conceptual. It's actual, very real human work, okay? But here's the thing. The things that trigger us are never random, right? You didn't carry a trait somewhere out of nowhere, all right? It's inside of you. You wouldn't even notice it if you didn't have it inside of you. And that's the most interesting part of how Hashem created us. Everything that triggers you, it's because you yourself have it inside of you, or else you wouldn't even notice it. So if your child feels too sensitive, too strong-willed, too emotional, too slow, too intense, too quiet, or too outspoken, that's because you yourself have that inside of you. Okay? This is not an accident. This doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It actually means that your soul is being invited to grow. If you're feeling triggered, it's an opportunity. Okay? So here's something to understand about soul contracts. A soul contract is not a punishment or a sentence. Your soul did not sign up for suffering. Your soul is aligned with a mission. And before coming into this world, your soul was shown the exact mix of strengths, weaknesses, wounds, gifts, challenges that will allow you to become the most aligned version of you. And your child did not come here for your perfection. They came here solely for your presence. So every time you pause instead of react, every time you repair instead of pretending everything is okay, every time you apologize instead of defending yourself, you're actually healing something very deep inside of you that may not even have started with you, but you're now given the opportunity to fix it for all time. Okay? The feeling of, am I doing this wrong, is not failure. That's your consciousness waking up. Sometimes having a safe or neutral space to explore these patterns, to talk about your feelings out loud without being judged, fixed, or rushed, is all that it takes in order to be able to rectify that concept. Okay? So now, girls, I'm going to talk to you for a minute. So you guys are sitting on the side of softness, receptivity, and love. You're worthy, you have missions, and you have freedom. You didn't end up in your family by accident. You didn't land where you landed randomly. There are no coincidences. Everything is by design. Before you were born, your soul was shown a mission, not a burden, not a punishment, an opportunity. Your soul chose your mother because she carries exactly what you need. Exactly what you need, what your soul needs in order to grow, to be wise, to be connected, and to become more aligned with yourself. This doesn't mean that your mother is perfect. She's perfect for you. Doesn't mean that she doesn't make mistakes. And it doesn't mean that you're here to fix her. It means that her soul trusted you and your soul trusted her. Okay? How cool is that? So your emotions are not problems. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. Your voice is not too much. And everything that you experience is an opportunity to level up. Okay? These are signals of your light shining through. We are in the world of consciousness. We are in the realm now of conscious waking up. Your generation is the generation that's going to bring Moshiach. Your generation is the generation of conscious awakening. Okay? You have to do it through truth. Truth through connection. Okay? This is what you guys are here to do. You have a very special place in the world right now. But you have to do it not through hiding, not through shutting down, not through numbing, and not through your phone screens. Okay? And these phones are killing the connections. You have to make a conscious effort to put that down. Okay? Your soul is learning how to communicate face to face, honestly, lovingly. When you're able to share your feelings, how you express your truth, you have to ask, what do I need, right? You don't want to talk from a place of emotion. You want to really ask your soul, what is it that I need in this moment in time? And express it. Always have the ability Always have the ability to express it, okay? That doesn't mean that you say everything that comes out of your mouth, and it doesn't mean you have to state it perfectly, but it does mean that you should find a very respectful way of being able to express yourself, okay? And that doesn't mean that your mother might understand you the first time right away, but it's your job to keep the communication flow going and make sure your emotions don't get in the way and you communicate properly so that you are heard. Truth speaks. Emotions shut down. Tap into your soul. Find the truth of what you're trying to say and say it. Your voice matters. You're responsible for the proper communication. Your soul did not come here to disappear behind the technology, right? It came here to build these real connections. You girls are our future. When you learn to speak from your heart, respectfully, honestly, you're not causing problems, you're creating bridges. And that's what you want. You want to create bridges. So sometimes when a parent reacts strongly, right? It's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because something inside of them is awakening. Something inside of them is being touched. So your worth is not earned through easy, quiet, or perfection. Your worth comes from the soul that you brought with you into this world. When you were born, your worth came with you. It's not about what you're doing now. It's the fact that you chose your mother and you're in her life. That's where your worth comes, okay? So one day you're gonna realize that the safest place that you were ever fully able to be yourself is with your mother's presence. And your soul will always want to come back to that. Because no matter how big your world becomes, the part of your soul will always want to be with your mother, and part of your mother's soul will always be waiting for you. So now I'm going to ask everyone to come back together again and sit with your moms, if that's okay. Musical chairs. So when a mother and daughter actually find themselves together in this world, something really sacred happens. Not a perfect relationship, but a really meaningful one. What people call a soul contract is actually just a shared mission in life. That's what that soul contract is. It's a shared mission in life. This contract is not about what will happen, but really about the potential that's hidden in whatever is happening at that moment. So everything that's happening is potential. Everything that comes up is an opportunity. Every trigger that comes inside of you is an opportunity for you to look at and say, okay, how am I going to connect better? How am I going to use this? How can I connect better? Okay? So every relationship has these sparks. It's up to us to find the sparks and elevate it. The mother brings grounding, protection, continuity. The daughter brings truth, growth, and forward movement. Sometimes this feels comfortable, and sometimes it feels uncomfortable. But guess what? Discomfort is not danger. Discomfort is information and opportunity to level up. So when mothers understand that these triggers are invitations for growth, they stop feeling attacked. And when daughters understand that they are not responsible for fixing anyone, they stop feeling like they're a burden. And then love can breathe again. Okay? So I'm wondering, ladies, everyone, would you guys be up for doing like a 5-minute meditation to create more closeness bonds with your daughters? Yeah? Yes.
Does it also work if my daughter's not here?
What, honey?
Does it also work if my daughter's not here?
Yeah, for sure. Because there's a lot of imagery. Absolutely, absolutely. So that's the thing with meditation. It's imagery. Whether your daughter's next to you or not, it's gonna work. Whether you're doing it here or you're doing it home on your own, which I strongly suggest you do, because the more you do, it's like a muscle. It gets bigger and better and stronger and tighter. So yeah, good question, but yes. All right, should we turn the lights down a little or leave it? Whatever. Thank you. Yep, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so everyone please sit in a comfortable position. First, we're gonna do a little bit of breath work, right? We're gonna breathe through our nose in to the count of 8. I will count. We're gonna hold the breath at the top for 4, and we're gonna breathe out very slowly through our mouth with a small opening to the count of 12. We're gonna do this twice, okay? Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out through the mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One more time through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Out through the mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Great. Now, everyone close your eyes. Allow your shoulders to soften. Allow your jaw to relax. Allow your body to settle. Imagine a soft, warm light above your head. A calm, loving light. This light represents your soul. Imagine a soft, warm light above you. A calm, loving light. This light represents your soul. Feel this light slowly moving down, resting around your head, your heart, your entire body. Now, in your mind's eye, gently imagine the soul of your mother or your daughter standing right in front of you. Not the role that they play, not their mistakes, not their personality, just their soul. Notice their presence. Notice their aura. Notice their light. Between your heart and their heart, imagine a gentle golden thread. This thread is forming, very light, not like a rope, not something heavy. It's a soft, glowing thread of connection. With each breath, this thread becomes brighter, warmer, stronger. Silently say, I see you. I honor you. I chose you. I am grateful that we are walking in this life together. If there has been hurt, if there has been disappointment, if there has been misunderstanding, imagine placing these feelings gently into the light. Watch as the light softens it, warms it, dissolves it. Now place one hand on your heart. Feel the warmth, feel the softness, feel the safety. Silently repeat, I release blame, I release guilt, I release the need to be perfect. I choose love, I choose understanding, I choose connection. Imagine the golden light expanding, surrounding the both of you, and wrapping you up in peace. Rest here, just for a few short breaths. When you feel ready, gently wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, close and open your eyes. So, like I mentioned before, this kind of inner connection is like a muscle, okay? So just like any muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it will be and the stronger that it will get. Just by imagining, just by having this imagery of a better connection with your daughter, that actually helps to create the bond between you closer, because that's what you're putting out into the universe. You're putting it out into your own being, and you're putting it out into the universe. So, can we turn the light on, please? Yeah, thank you so much. So how was that? How's everyone doing? Good? Okay. So now I want you girls to turn to each other. Turn and look at your moms, okay? Look into each other's eyes. Look into each other's souls. See each other through your eyes. Mm-hmm. I know. First you laugh when you look at it. Look, really look at your mom. You're gonna see her soul. Okay. Mothers, either out loud or silently, say to your daughter, I am learning to. And daughters, say to your mother, I am doing my best. And mean it. That's all we need to do. I love you, Jamie. So in closing, we are looking for meaning, not perfection. Healthy families are not the families that don't have struggle. And in fact, there is no such thing. There is no family that doesn't have struggles. That just doesn't exist. And if someone tells you it's like that, they're lying. Okay? But healthy families are the ones that are able to take struggle and give meaning to it. To find the sparks and elevate it. To find the spark and say, hey, okay, there's a struggle here. This is an opportunity. Hashem is bringing this in my path. What am I supposed to learn from this? Where am I supposed to go with this? Okay? So it's a shift in perception and perspective that we should always try to find. Instead of going, why me? We say, what's next? What do I need to do next? What's in front of me now? Let's see where I can go with this. So if tonight opens something inside of you, curiosity, emotion, reflection, that's a good sign. Take it with you. I invite you to take this page home, okay? There's one on the table for each of you. set aside a few quiet moments to sit with your daughter and thoughtfully answer each question. Go through them. This is not to be perfect. This is not to rush anything. This is simply to listen, to reflect, and to begin a new kind of conversation. This is the kind of inner work that I do to support women and mothers, right? I create a space for them to be able to grow without guilt, with responsibility, without shame, and connection without the overwhelm. So thank you for trusting me with something so personal. It's been an honor having space with you. Appreciate it. Thank you again.
Questions?
Yes, questions.
I have a question. Is there a certain passage to read, like in the morning, in Tehillim for the kids?
Okay, so great question. So if you want to do Tehillim for your kids, the best thing you can do, you take their age, however old they are, you add 1 year, right? Because we're always moving forward. So if your child is 10, you read number 11.
Do you have to open the book for that?
Sorry.
So just, do you have to do the opening part to read the line?
No. So you could do that for each of your children, but before you even start to read, it's not about just reading, right? You want to have an intention in mind. Close your eyes for 30 seconds. Have a heart-to-heart with Hashem. I'm reading this with the intention of creating a better connection with you and with my daughter, right? And then read it. That intention goes a long way. Okay?
You have a question? Well, I have a question. How do we create a bond where there's more hearing and not just listening?
Okay, so communication is like playing ball, okay? You throw the ball, the other person has to catch it, hold the ball, make sure it's stable in their hand, so they have to hear it, and they have to throw it back. And you have to catch it, make sure it's stable, and you throw it back. So when you talk at a person, right, and they're not really hearing, it's like throwing a ball against the wall. They're not really hearing. They might look like they're listening, but it doesn't mean they're hearing. You want to make sure that they're hearing. Instead of talking at them, you ask questions. When you ask a question, something triggers in a person's mind to say, oh, I need to respond to this. That means I have to hear it, which means I have to listen, which means I have to understand. Questions do that to us. The best way to communicate with someone is never to talk at them, but to ask questions that elicit a response. Does that help?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Hi, Tammy. Nice to see you.
What if you feel like you keep on saying the same thing over and over again and it's just not being perceived the way that you want it to be perceived by that person? By your mother.
Is it not being perceived that way, or is she just not agreeing with you? And it's okay to disagree because you're two different people, right?
Yeah, I
I'm
mean.
not sure what you're referring to.
No, it's not a specific example.
Oh, well, I think I'll speak probably in a similar, because when I communicate to her,
Yeah.
and I'll say it will be on the same topic, she will hear me, she will agree, but she will revert back to doing what she thinks is right in that particular moment, knowing later that she should have done it in a different way.
So my question to you is she supposed to have done it that way because you wanted her to do it that way, or because that's the right thing to do? And if it's the right thing, she has to believe that it's the right thing. Right?
How do you get them to understand this? They need to feel a little bit.
But so, question is, do I allow her to make mistakes and understand what's right? Or do I teach her by giving her the same conversation to prevent
That's a great question.
from,
That's a great question. So, interesting fact, we were not put on this planet to teach our kids. They were actually put into our lives for us to learn from. Very big shift in perception and perspective when you start looking at your children as, oh, okay, yeah, she's making a mistake, but wait, maybe I'm seeing it as a mistake because there's something being triggered inside of me. Maybe it's not even a mistake, or maybe I'm getting so overwhelmed because I don't want her to get hurt because that would mean I'm hurt, rather than, you know what, let me step back and see what I'm supposed to learn from this, you know? Our children's pain, none of us want to see our children go through pain, so we try to fix everything for them. But if they don't learn from their own mistakes sometimes, they're never going to progress in life. They need to make
even if they
mistakes
feel the
sometimes.
pain and she'll come and she will cry it out sometimes.
And that's okay.
That's the best part. How
And
you
that's
grow.
okay. And that's okay. And that's okay. If they feel the pain, that's part of life. That's growth. Actually, again, pain is opportunity, right? All of these triggers, these are opportunities for growth. If we never get triggered, if we never experience pain, if we never feel any kind of anything, if we're always like this, what's the difference between us and this table, right? You have to feel things in order to, oh, okay, I got this, I got it, level up, level up, level up. Where we take the sparks and we elevate, you know? It's difficult for us to sit back because of our own experiences. It's hard to sit back and say, oh, I know she's not doing the right thing. I know my kid is gonna get hurt, physically, emotionally, whatever. It's very hard not to give them advice. But there's a way of giving advice, talking at, and there's another way, talking with. Okay? You can express yourself. Communication is absolutely necessary. I know parents that go, oh, you know what, I'm giving them their autonomy, let them do whatever. That's not okay either, no. Just as you want to create an open, safe space so that your children will feel comfortable to come to you with everything, you also need to have that ability to say everything to your children, but how you're saying it. You can't talk down on them, and you can't tell them, I know because I'm the mother, it's I've had this experience, you have to do what I'm saying for you to do. But it's rather, honey, you know, do you think this is the best way to do this? Do you think maybe we can do it differently? Do you maybe think you have other options, other ways of doing this, other ways of looking at it, other ways of handling it? Let her come up with the solutions. Okay, communication is very important.
Are you able to come up with your own solutions?
Oh, yes, she is. I think she's very smart. You know something? When you have a very brilliant mommy that gives you all the solutions, why would you want to come up with answers?
Would you try to come up with your own solutions?
Give her space, she will.
I'm too lazy.
You're too lazy. You're brilliant.
That's your excuse.
You're very cute.
There we go.
How do you foster relationships with like multiple children? I know that every relationship is different, but how do you know if you're giving, I would say, equal or the same at the same capacity?
You know, we love our children exactly the same, but none of them are the same, right? Each of them have different strengths, different weaknesses, different needs. You know, I have 3 kids, and I always say the funniest part is my oldest calls me mommy to this day. My second one calls me ma, and Jamie calls me mom. So they all see me differently as well, right? So you cannot treat them exactly the same. You have to see what language is going to work with each one and use it that way, right? One of them, my boys are night and day. One of them is running like, you know, I don't even know, like 10 miles an hour, and the other one is at a snail pace.
I think we talked about this, and I always asked you what tools can we enable ourselves with to deal with situations that are triggers to us. So in the, let's say, heat of a moment, when we recognize that something is triggering us, what will be a few examples of some of the tools that we can pull out of our toolbox?
You know my number one tool.
Pause.
Thank you. Best student, I love it. So absolutely. Number one, you said it first, awareness, right? Once you become aware that there are triggers, there are things that are making you go, you know, once you're aware of that, then you're able to make a shift, right? So here's psychologically, emotionally, how we all operate is stimulus comes in, boom, we react. Stimulus comes in, boom, we react, right? But when you become aware that, wait, there's a feeling before this reaction, there's a strange feeling inside of me, you start to go, okay, this feeling is coming in, pause. I'm gonna pause, and then I'm gonna respond. The more you focus on this pause, there's a very, very narrow space, right? So Dr. Viktor Frankl was a psychiatrist that was, is anyone familiar with him? Probably, yeah. So Dr. Viktor Frankl was a psychiatrist that was in the Holocaust. And he came out of the Holocaust and wrote numerous books, not about the horrors of the Holocaust, but what he wrote about was about the meaning of life, right? He said that what he did was he observed the people that were in the Holocaust. So everybody was the same there, right? They took your clothes, they took your hair, they took everything from you. So everybody was exactly the same, right? But the one thing they couldn't take from him, from anybody, was how they felt on the inside, right? And how you respond to your life, nobody can take that from you. That's the one thing that is always yours. So this concept of the pause is his concept. So the stimulus comes in, once you become aware that there is a trigger there, and you pause, and you take a breath, and you look at the situation, and then you respond. That narrow space gives you the ability to decide what is the best response in this situation with this child, with that child, with my husband, with my whoever, right? Because each of them will require a different response. Each of them will require something different for them to be able to hear you, because everyone hears a different language, right? But that pause is absolutely key. Anybody else?
You have a question?
Yes.
I don't know how to word this correctly for it to make sense, but if you've been through certain things in your life and you see that your child has the same kind of triggering things and the same thought process and the same ways to, the same things that maybe bother her and the way that they process it, but you've already moved on from that and the pain that that caused you, and you try to prevent that in your kid, for them to, I guess, process or look at things differently.
Yeah.
And you know how much it hurts them because it hurt you. And you try to show them different perspectives, or show them different, like, it could have been like this, or this person could have meant something different when they said, like, just change the way or show them different ways to think about it, but they don't want to. They want to just see it their way and feel the way that they feel about it, and that's it.
So our job is to give space to our children, right? We need to create a space for them to feel safe, to be able to experience whatever it is that they're experiencing, okay? If they feel as though, even inside of them, they know that this isn't right. They know this feeling isn't right. They know that maybe whatever advice you're giving them is right, but they don't want to be judged. Nobody wants to be judged, and nobody wants to be given advice. Nobody wants to be looked down on. Nobody wants that, right? So you see her doing it. You go into it with advice. She's gonna go into enforce. Even though she knows you're probably right, she's gonna go into, you know what, I don't wanna hear this. I'm gonna do whatever I wanna do because that's the way it is. Because nobody wants to be wrong. That's the bottom line in humanity. Nobody ever wants to be wrong, right? The best thing you can do is to, again, ask questions. Don't talk at your child. Don't talk at your husband. Don't talk at anybody. Ask questions and allow them to come up with the conclusion themselves. Okay? You can share a little bit of your own experience, but that's your experience, it's not hers. And that might even trigger whatever. But if you ask the question, well, how are you feeling about this? I can give you some more other tools. We'll talk, but
I have another question that I think we also addressed with you in the past about how to communicate to the daughters that are growing into the teenager years with respect of appreciating themselves as human beings, as women, as young adults approaching, the teenagerhood years. She will always say, is 12 gonna be when I start using skincare? And I will say, no, you'll probably have to be around the 18. But the rush to get, I understand that, we've all been there, I've been there, the want and the need to grow faster and become an adult is so trendy now. Meanwhile, I'm just like, take me back.
I don't know who made it up.
You made it up, that's right. But I want her specifically because she's my, she's rushing through life. She's
You're 9 going on 19,
yeah,
huh?
she's trying to go and become 15 and she wants to be, out there, outgoing, very much into the need to speed things up. I want her to pause, like you said, and also not exceed at the age she wants to be and enjoy the age she's at. And how do I approach that? Because it's...
So I believe that in each family there has to be you have a green light, yellow light, red light, right? It can't all be red light, red light. It can't all be what you want, right? There has to be a little bit of space for her to have her autonomy, right? So if you say to your mom, I want to put makeup on now, that's a red light. No, right? But some other things each family has to see. But the main thing is communicating with respect, talking to your mom, never doing anything behind her back, telling her what you want to do, and talking about it like adults. You want to be an adult? The first thing you need to do is to communicate like an adult. Speak with respect, say what you want, speak from your heart, not from your emotions, right? Now, I was saying in my talk before, you want to talk about what it is that is inside of you, what you really want, not your emotions, not your pain, not your upset. You want to really say, this is what I really want, okay? And you communicate and you see where it falls. Some things are going to be an absolute no, and some things are maybe, and some are okay, go ahead. And some are, you know what, not yet. That doesn't mean never, it means not yet.
Let me ask you a question. When you wanted a chopstick, did I say yes or no?
Yeah.
When you wanted skincare, what did I say?
Oh.
Okay. Do you see how we find somewhere where we put the green light and the red light, like Miss Liz was talking about? Do you understand that? There will be a time when I'll say yes to something when you're a little bit older, and there's a time that I say no because you're just a little bit too young for that. But that doesn't mean it's not gonna happen. You just have to be patient.
It's the word yet, not yet.
How? My question
Do I
is,
get- oh,
sorry, no, go ahead, go ahead.
How do I get my child to want to put on chapstick?
Bring her over.
We're back to the same thing. You gotta let your child be autonomous. They have to have their own decisions, right? They have to have their own person. They need to be their own. The best thing that a mother can do is just hold space for their child so that they feel safe to be able to say anything, do anything without feeling like my mom is going to judge me, my mom is going to react a certain way, my mom is going to give me advice to death, you know? Because we all tend to do that. We all do that. That's very normal. We want our kids not to have any pain, so all of our own experiences and things that we've learned suddenly comes up with, no, don't do this, don't do that. It's important to pause, very, very important. Pause, wait, okay, this is an opportunity for growth, not only for her, but for me. If it's something that's suddenly like, oh, this is what's happening with my daughter, wait. Pause, take a breath, okay. Where do I need to go with this? What do I need to do? What's the best solution, not only for me, but for my daughter, you know? Because our reactions are more about us. We don't want to see them hurt because we don't want to go through that pain again. It's coming back up, you know what I mean? We still have it inside of us. That's why we even see it. You wouldn't see it if you didn't have it inside of you. Even though you've processed it, it's still a part of you, you know? That makes sense, yes, honey?
How often do children mirror the relationship you have with your own mother, like despite you trying to heal that relationship? But
How often
like
do you
what's the
think?
percentage of the fact that even though you're trying to repair that, your children see your relationship and will mirror that with you?
Okay, so children will mirror what they see, which means if you repair on your own relationship, you're repairing your relationship with your daughter as well, for sure. And I want to say something with that. You don't need both sides to rectify your relationship. You know, if someone is having a hard time with their own mother, if you rectify it within your own being and you're able to let go and forgive whatever parts of it is triggering you, the relationship heals. You don't need her to agree to it. You don't need her forgiveness. You don't need her to do anything really. Your own shift in perception, perspective, and behavior will shift the relationship completely.
Is that also the part of the generational trauma that we're trying to address
Absolutely,
and modify?
absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot of generational trauma, but we are in an incredible part of the universe, time in the universe. Our generation, and our kids' generation is going to heal.
There's a lot of awareness.
Ooh,
There's a lot of
ooh,
awareness.
leaps and bounds. We are at a very unique place in the world right now. Thank
What
God.
are you accredited to? Like what is that, what caused this awareness to wake up? Because I've sensed it, God knows, for the past year. But
It's time. It's time. It's just time, you know. For me, the most incredible experience that I've had recently is that God is coming back into the picture. They took God out of everything the past 20, 30 years. It's coming back everywhere with full force. The movies are bringing him back, the TV shows are bringing him back. You just see it. You see it too. And what do I accredit it to? That more than anything else. When God is in the picture, everything is better. When you bring God into your life, everything is better. When you have a better connection with God, you have a better connection with yourself. When you have a better connection with yourself, everybody around you is going to be happier.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
Any question from the girls? Okay. Yeah.
How do you make parents understand or listen to what you're actually saying about a specific event or feelings when they say they've been through it?
Yes. Yes. I hear you.
It's very
So
interactive.
we're gonna.
I love it. It's very nice.
I really want you to look at the communication scenario that I gave with the balls, right? You gotta make sure when you throw the ball, the person is catching it, hearing it, and then throwing it back. Look, mothers aren't perfect, right? Your job is not to heal, and your job is not to fix, and your job is not to teach. We're here to hold space for our children. So you coming up with something, right? Your mom is triggered. You can't just keep going at her, right? But you can say, Mom, I'm going through this. I just need you to help me rectify it. I got that you went through it. Just hold space for me. Remind her, right? My daughter reminds me. She calls me out on it. She'll say, Mom, this isn't about you. This is not about you. It's about me. Can you just keep the conversation? Because we forget too. We get triggered. We're human. We are human, right? But the bond that you have with your mom is like nothing that you could ever have with any other human being on the planet. There's nobody that's gonna hold space for you more than her. You just sometimes need to remind her more, because what you're experiencing hurts her more than it hurts you, believe me.
Can I just put my 5 cents in? And I think I've translated this in our conversations. There will be times when I would be triggered by something and I will just leave it. I will want to address it, knowing that the way I'm gonna address it is gonna be so aggressive and so negative that I just find myself removing myself from a situation and not even discussing or talking. And I'll just go. And there was something that she did recently and I did not approve, I did not support, she did not come to ask me. But she did tell me about what she did after, which is a very good quality she has developed, to come clean and speak the truth. And in that moment, I was so triggered by anger, I chose not to address it. And then I gave it 2 days and I let it kind of like settle down and calm. And I discussed it with my husband and we had a normal, calm, very neutral approach in talking to her about this. And I think we communicated better because we stepped away from discussing in the heat of a moment.
So that's your pause, right? You created that pause, you need it a little bit longer, but it's very, very, very important to always go back. You don't take an angry and upset situation, walk away from it and never go back, right? If you're gonna step away because you need a pause, you need a time to whatever, whoever steps away is the one that has to come back, you know? Yeah, and I'm telling you this with your husbands also. This is a big part of marriage. If you're upset and you walk out of the room because you don't want to say something, you walked out, you're the one that has to start the conversation again. Yes, honey?
How do you pause your parents from
How
yelling?
do you what?
How do you pause your parents from yelling?
How do you pause your parents from
Yelling.
From
Yelling.
It's okay.
Yelling?
Question.
Okay.
Don't trigger them.
Good question.
There's the answer.
So you know what? You know what? How about this?
Good question, Bella. Very good question.
How about this? If what you're hearing is triggering to you, that means you need to do something. How about if you just yell the word pause? See what happens. Can you do that? Very softly, very sweetly, because sometimes we need reminders. Sometimes we forget that we should pause. And that's what a daughter and a mother are there for, to remind each other of the things that are gonna make us better in life. You know? Susanna, what do you think? Would that work? Would that help?
I'm sure it will.
Okay. Yes, honey.
Like, let's say I would say pause while they're yelling, they would get like mad at me.
Okay, so, no, wait. So, you're right. If you say pause to other people that don't know what we're talking about, they probably would get mad at you. But because your mom knows what we're talking about, and you have to make an agreement with each other. Because guess what? Sometimes if you get angry, she's gonna say that to you. Pause. You can make an agreement with each other that if we forget to pause ourselves, we can simply remind each other very softly. You're communicating, right? You don't, if someone yells at you and you yell at them back, does that solve anything? No, it just makes it worse. So if someone's yelling at you, but you're soft, then you go, pause. Right? Try it. Let's see what happens.
Stay tuned.
You're cute.
Any
But
other
ladies, you
questions?
see, we all have triggers. The girls, the adults, we all have triggers. But guess what? We're all in this together. And the more we help each other elevate, and the more connected we are and realize that we are all connected, the better this world is gonna be, and the easier life is. We're not here to change each other, we're not here to teach each other, we're here to hold space, we're here to elevate. Yes, Bailey?
Okay.
How do you make your parents feel better when they're sad?
I think if you give them a big hug and you tell them how much you love them, I think that means everything. Mhm.
Good question. How do you translate to your children when the answer is no, it's a no? And so there's no trigger.
That's the biggest trigger.
So there's no trigger, then you explain in a nice way why it's a no, and they still try to convince you
That's
to
the
say
biggest
yes.
trigger.
And so you say it's a no,
Mhm.
then they get upset. So, how do you translate it? The answer is no, it's a no.
So, I have trouble with someone that just says no because it's a no.
No, after explaining why it's a no, but they still try to convince you to say yes.
But honestly, do you as a parent need to explain to kids sometimes, and it's a no, sometimes just a no? You're not supposed to really explain, yeah, or somebody wants to
Yeah,
say,
that's
"Well,
a big
it's midnight,"
topic.
and they said no.
And sleepovers.
It's not okay.
And you see,
Okay.
she's also probably a mother who doesn't like her kids to sleep over, right?
But why can't part of parents
Sleep over, you sleep in your own bed.
Okay.
We're having this conversation over and over,
With my
and I just say, I explain why, and why you can't have a sleepover, you know?
Yeah.
And they still try to say, but mom, why can't we have a sleepover? But why this, why that?
And then,
And they asked me to have a sleepover at my house, and I said I would love that, but I have 3 boys, and I will not take that responsibility to have 10 girls in my
I
house,
understand.
you know? So I said, no sleepovers.
It's a hard
Have your friends over,
explanation.
But everybody goes to their own bed to sleep on their own pillows. So, and I'm trying, I say that in a very nice way, and they still try to convince me otherwise. I said, if you're gonna continue asking, there'll be no party at all.
So you know what I was saying before? Each family has their own hard lines. You have green lines, you have yellow lines, you have red lines. Sometimes some things are just red lines, and that's just the way it is. And sometimes those red lines is a red line for now, and sometimes it's a red line forever. Okay? So when it's a red line forever, that's your family. God willing, when you have your own family, you can make a different decision.
I think it's the arguing that they display nowadays, and I see it specifically just with Bailey and Shane, who's only 3. It's the back and forth. Like Leon, my middle one, doesn't have that. He hears a hard no and it's done. The argument stops right there. It's the oldest and the youngest that have this personality of going back and forth, but mama, but please, but this, but that, but everybody. And then that escalates into a whole big shebang of where she says, well, how do you stop my mom from yelling? Correct?
You know, sometimes removing yourself from the situation or changing the subject is a better way to go, because sometimes it'll go on forever. You explained it, you know she understood it, you know where you stand, and you know where your mom stands, and the conversation is done. Sometimes you just have to say, you know something, we're done talking about this for now, or just change the subject to something else.
I do, but it does all the time.
It just comes back.
Why can't I?
She's very smart.
Why can't I? We just had this conversation, right?
I have a question when it comes to parenting. So a lot of kids go from the mom who's a no to the dad who's a yes.
Well,
So, and that happens. So
That's
my,
tough.
when the older kids, they went through that. I'm not gonna see that with her, but I hope I don't. But I'm saying sometimes they just run and get the answer, and then you end up being the no mom.
The backup.
That's very difficult.
And they don't even, and then they just stop being worried for always.
That's a very important factor. This is a very important factor to discuss with your husband, that in front of the kids you have to have an alignment. And if the kids are asking for something, you have to say, I have to ask your mom, and you have to say, I have to ask my dad, because the husband and wife have to be in alignment. There's a lot, these kids nowadays are brilliant. They will pin us against each other.
Good job, good.
That's right, yes,
We
ma'am.
never answer. The first thing we always say, boss papa. And then papa
Yeah.
goes, boss mama. And then when they say, what did mama say? Mama said no, then no. Same thing.
There you go. There you go.
Sometimes when I want something, I go to my dad and he says yes, and then I run to mom and then she says no, and then I'm like, but dad said yes.
Whatever mom says goes.
Because you know what daddy says. It's going.
I think once you clean the office, then one of them will say.
You know, it's really nice, and nowadays men really do want to be involved and do want to do more, but it's extremely important that you have alignment with your spouses on this, because the kids will pit you against each other. They just will. They're very smart. It's not out of maliciousness. They're just very, very smart. And this is a little game that they play, you know, they're playing a little game. But, you know, in this respect, we have to be the adults.
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for putting this together. This was fun. I enjoyed it.
I hope everybody enjoyed us.
Guys, please take these home. If you want more, take them. Once in a while, sit with your daughters and do, you know, go through these questions. This is gonna help create more closeness, more bonds. Help you realize where you're at in life, where your daughter is at in life. It's a
You want to
beautiful
talk a
way.
little bit about Rabbi Kosher and the programs we do with him?
Yes, so first Wednesday of every month, I do a Coach and Rabbi series with Rabbi Osher Kravitsky on Grace Avenue in Great Neck. It's the first Wednesday of every month, and every month it's a different topic. This month we're talking March 4th. We're talking about how to bring joy into your everyday life. What else do we have in March? Oh, March 18th, we did a mind, body, and soul retreat last month in Ahavat Shalom in Great Neck. And we had such a beautiful turnout and a really enlightening experience. I stood up there when we started and I stood up when we ended, and the energy shift in the room was spectacular. So we were asked to recreate the same event. That's
it over
going
a
to
few
be March
days?
18th. We're doing that
One
on
day
March
thing?
18th. It's a one-day thing, yeah. So I do the mind part, and we have Ornella Amsalam she does about the gut biome. So she talks about the body and how to clean out your gut biome so that everything works better. And then we have Tali Abergel, that's on another level. She does sound healing and a little bit of meditation, and so it was a very nice event. So put it on your calendars. This one's going to be at the Women's Soul Center, also in V. Grace Avenue. Yeah. So for
When
sure.
you create that flyer,
Yes.
I'll spread
Thank
it
you.
in our groups.
Thank
so that
you,
people are
yes.
exposed to that.
So I actually did a really cool thing a couple of weeks ago. I do inner child healing and IFS, which is internal family systems. With IFS, you have to do one-on-one. That you can't do in a group setting. But the inner child, the meeting your inner child, I did it with a group of about 12 women. Put it this way, 2 of them started crying. They
my God.
connected so much.
Where was I? Crying in my own bedroom?
Love
Just
you.
kidding.
Love you. But if you want to get a group of women together, I will do it again. I elevated from it.
Is that family
I love that.
constellation or different?
Hmm?
It's not family constellation or it is?
No.
No.
IFS is internal family systems. So you clean up all of the little traumas that have built up in your life. You clean that up. But first you have to meet your inner child.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us haven't seen our inner child in a long time. First you meet your inner child. It's very cool.
Very liberating. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
This is homework, right?
Yes, yes. Yes. Oh, and if anyone wants to do a one-on-one session, I have discounted rates for anybody that's here. Okay?